Back from vacation. Did I miss anything? I mean, what happened, right? I mean, a lot of stuff happened while I was gone, apparently, right? Noticeably, that. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it in full. But you know what's so funny, now that I think about it, is that the reason why it's a controversy is probably because this is one of the few times I can remember a situation that is a transcendent form of white privilege for a black man. I mean, you got people upset here, seriously upset here. But boy, there's so many people who want to give grace when they forget about some other things that may have happened that may have been ugly in people's past. I don't know if that's the time to bring in Janet Dubois. But I find it interesting that we have a moment of white privilege, and I say that because a man publicly slaps another man in one of the largest audiences possible. And he is given grace like a white person by everyone thinking about all the things that he's gone through, all the things that he may have divulged and mentioned in his book, all the things that are pivotal and critical to understanding the psyche of someone who may lose it for a moment, or for some people to say, excuse some things. I'm not talking about excuses here or there, but I say white privilege was extended because folks go out of your way to extend you grace when they like you. And that's white privilege. When you're black, no one cares about your trauma. They just put your ass in jail. When you're black, you just get the punishment. When you're black, the judge is not asking you what happened in your childhood. When you're black, everyone gets to say, so. As in, so what? As in, yeah, that sucked. But you got to do this crime. CNN has investigated and learned that the Academy did ask Will Smith to leave after that assault. Will refused and got to stay. He wasn't removed. He got to stay. That also tells you it wasn't a joke, folks. It wasn't a job. The Academy asked him to leave. And he stayed. That is white privilege. And so there's something kind of proud that white privilege was extended to a black man. And the black man used it to his highest regard. And he partied afterwards. Pardon. That's a helicopter flying over my DC neighborhood, possibly looking for a black man who's not extended black privilege, white privilege. Not like Will Smith. We'll get into the other stuff later, but that's my immediate observation. Screw it. Let's start the show. Oh. It's the Shawn Show and Tyrone, presented by Body Butter Bakery. Tonight, I don't even have the board set up because I'm just flying in from Tampa Bay. But my guest tonight is Tommy Taylor Jr. We also have, of course, Tyrone as my co-pilot. Kym will be checking in from the Body Butter Bakery. And I have a Shawn Says. So. But first, we're going to start off. We're a little behind schedule, so I apologize. But we're going to get started here with a lot of your comments and questions. I look exhausted. Oh, you have no idea. It's a good exhaust. But we're going to start with a couple of questions that are going to be answered by my main man, Dr. Ira Davis, as soon as we find him and pull him up. Is so good at explaining these issues, and I want him to explain some important issues when he comes to the show, because we don't just revel in catnip. We revel in, oh jeez, what are you, Orange Juice Jones? What the? Are you in the car? Like,
I'm in the car, brother. I'm at my son's track meet.
I dig this. All right, you at your son's track meet, but you're still going to explain a big important issue.
Big important issue.
Well, before we get into that issue, you know,
This has been Ira Explains The Ish.
we got to get you some theme music keyed up. What is this ish that you're about to explain for us, Ira?
Inflation.
Inflation. You know, so I rented a car down there for 2 days. The car rental itself was $100. The gas was $7,822. Like, this inflation is crazy. Can you explain inflation for us in 120 seconds, Dr. Ira Davis?
All right, here we go. Back in February, inflation was 7.9% higher than it was in February 2021. And that was its biggest increase in 40 years. But it's not just gas and groceries. The cost of renting a place to live was 17% higher than it was in February last year at that time. That's according to Realtor.com, and it means rent costs are at the highest level ever. The average rental car in the U.S., according to Kayak, averages $76 a day, more than $20 higher than 2 years ago. That's likely because regular gas is on average more than $4 a gallon this month, the highest of any month in history, up from $2.51 in March of 2019. Kayak shows hotel rates about $300 per night, up nearly $70 since March of 2019. Even theme parks will cost you more, from paid express lines to pricier food. And that is the issue. Inflation is about 8% higher than it was last year.
8% higher than it was last year. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Yes, brother.
You're so good at explaining the issue. So let me ask you this. So since you explained inflation, you explained it so well. Can you explain the difference between parkways and driveways? If people park on driveways and drive on parkways, can you explain that?
I can't, my brother.
You know, I also want to know, how do people get, like, Bill out of William? Can you explain that?
The only thing I can get is Will out of William.
that's what I get to. And that's what kills me about this Will Smith story. No one ever calls him Billy. Well,
This has been Ira Explains The Ish.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, all the time, bro.
Enjoy your son.
This has
All right, you
been
too.
Ira.
No more explaining the ish for you. All right, take it easy, brother.
All right.
Oh, my word. Once again, Dr. Davis has explained the ish for the last time in this volume of episodes because we are going to take a 2-week break just to regroup. I have a lot of great shows coming up. And there he goes. Kym, what are you?
I was
What,
getting it together. Good
you-
evening.
Good evening. You caught getting it together.
Hey,
Okay. You always got
got.
it together. You always it got. You always got
Yeah.
it together. You look lovely.
Thank you. Hey, jet lag.
I am.
How was your audition?
Oh,
Okay.
it is good though. I think. I don't know if the makeup works, but yeah, it was good. So I'm glad. And now I'm back in DC where it was 40 degree difference when I got off the plane.
Can't relate.
Whatever, Kym. So what's going on in the Body Butter Bakery before we get on with the show?
So I am a little behind on releasing new products. I have my bottles for my men's oils. I don't have my labels.
Kym, do you want to sell product?
I do. I swear I do.
Do
It's a lot.
you know what this segment is for? It's for you to
Yeah,
sell product, right?
it is. It is. But it's also for me to be transparent. And the reason I do not have the oils on the website is because I do not have the labels.
Okay. When will you have the labels, Kym?
Next week.
So when we come back from our little 2-week hiatus, you'll have the labels and you'll be ready to sell some stuff.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
And to repeat, you're done selling body butter until October.
Correct.
I'll tell you, I went down to your home state in Florida and I brought some body butter with me,
Mhm.
and it was body butter soup because it was so hot.
I wonder if that happened on the plane.
I don't know.
Because you're closer to the sun.
Or maybe when I didn't turn on the air conditioning in my hotel room for a second.
That'll do it.
That'll do
That'll
it.
do it.
But you're gonna have some male products happening.
Yes.
They've been going on. You got these body oils
Yep.
that are ready to go. You have this lip balm. And what flavors of lip balm do you have?
Mango margarita,
Mhm.
strawberry mojito, and peach sangria.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
All alcohol free, but they're good.
Well, what's the point?
Well, you know. Hey,
Hey
Ty.
Kym, how you
It's
doing?
Ty.
Good.
How's the beer, Ty?
Still growing. Okay. All right. You haven't given up. I like it.
Nope.
Well,
Mm-mm.
we're also watching this week by week, So
Yeah.
if we were to go away for like 2 or 3 weeks, which we are going to do,
Mm-hmm.
although Ty will never go away from the gram. Ty is everywhere. It's going to be like, you think it'll be full time? What do you think it'll be?
Maybe this is about as good as it's gonna get. It's just gonna get nappier.
Mm.
Somebody said that I have a new nickname called Shawn Cigar. That's that's clever. I don't know where they got that nickname from, but it was a good trip, and I'm glad to be back and kick it with my man Tyrone one more time. When we come back, Ty, from our vacation, well, our vacation from this, because we all do our own different
Yeah.
things. It'll be 15 years I'll be in DC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You and your friend were celebrating together, right?
Yeah, me and Chris.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. Let's get off this and get on with the show. I need some energy. I need to get my energy going. So we're gonna get some comedy.
Where's your beverages? Neither one of y'all have your beverages. Wine
See,
is close by.
I just finished a protein shake,
Okay.
and
A
I will be
protein
sipping
shake.
water tonight. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, I got my water,
I'm back
but
on my health kick.
I also got my liquor back here. I'm looking right at it. So
I might. I might. Depends on how the night goes.
You can
Well,
mix that with a protein shake.
what? I didn't have a
Yeah.
protein shake. You did.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Maybe later.
Kim, you ain't drinking, huh?
I'm not.
So you're in the Body Butter Bakery right now,
I am.
but there's
But
no.
these are the oils behind me.
Those are oils. Okay. When we get our hands on these oils, how are we to use them as guys?
Fresh out of the shower, towel dried. You just rub it on your body. If you have body butter, you'll use the body butter first. The oil will seal in the moisture from the body butter. If you don't have body butter, you just use the oil alone.
All right, I'm a fan of this.
It's not good to use the oils alone, but you have to.
See, he's already purchased and endorsed the Bay line of products, which are edible from Body Butter Bakery. Do you have any more Bay products that are edible?
I
Kim?
do not. Sorry.
Girl, what you doing with yourself? I'm gonna still put your website in here.
Okay. I need more hands. I don't know. It's a lot.
There's so many ways to take that comment. Bodybutterbakery.com. Miss Kym Dudley. Thank you so much, Kim.
Correct. Thank you.
We'll talk to you later if you're still up, okay?
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lady. Did you need would you need your man to defend you after
Oh yeah, see, I'm not getting in that.
I saw you had a poll and it's like you team Will, you team Chris, and the answer was neither damn one of them, or something like that.
Correct. I'm team everything is due Friday. That's my team. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Except these labels on these oils that you can't sell till you get the labels right.
Jab,
Come on,
jab.
Kim, try to make some money.
Uppercut. I like it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get it. And by the time when we come back, I'll have them. They'll be ready, labeled on the shelf, ready to go.
I want mine first.
Deal. Got it.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Yes, sir. See y'all later.
All right, again.
Bye, boss lady.
I used to mess with my sister all the time, but I was gonna mess with Kim, but I won't mess with her. But I used to say to my sister in situations like this, hypothetically speaking, let's just say you had a man. Let's just say you had a man.
First of all, there's so many things wrong with how you couch it like that. Hypothetically speaking.
And if you had a man.
Let's just say you did have a dude.
Would you want him to risk everything? You know
what's interesting, Ty? We talk about defending women and all that stuff. And we do, both of us, we believe in defending women. There was a story I saw that circulated that when Terry Crews said that he was harassed and harassed sexually by Harvey Weinstein. And Harvey Weinstein grabbed his crotch and all that. Mm-hmm. And Terry couldn't believe it. He was furious. And he told his wife, and he was ready to go whoop Harvey Weinstein's ass. Mm-hmm. And the wife, Miss Richardson, Reverend Richardson, she's like, no, baby, stop. Mm-hmm. As a measure of looking after his interest as well, and not just him getting this so-called satisfaction, as the old folks would say in duels and stuff. So Terry Crews is like, I won't get my satisfaction this way. My wife thought better of it. She was my cool head when I was hot. And so we don't even look at it on that aspect of this topic. Do you think there's something to that? We're about to bring in Tommy Taylor Jr., a comic who can talk about another.
Well, I think that's just self-control on her part. I think one thing that a lot of people are overlooking, and to me, it's like clearly the only thing that I see right now, and that's everyone gets to benefit off a black woman's pain right now. And that's something that we're not even talking about. We're just talking about what Will did and what Chris did and who's apologizing to who and if he should stay and privilege. And I don't even think it's about any of that. When I first looked at it, I honestly thought that they was using two black dudes to bring more attention to the Oscars.
Well, it's the biggest. Well, you can't deny that happened. I mean, let's just be glad that it wasn't Warren Beatty's wife, not Warren Beatty, but Alec Baldwin's wife, who was because that didn't end well. Alec
So,
Baldwin was up there.
so remember the last time we talked about the Oscars?
Hmm.
I made a comment and I said they is not gonna give no Oscar to a black man named King. Remember when I said that?
You did say that.
So this could be the payment for getting that
Well,
Oscar.
wait a minute, but who paid who? Like, black produced show, black man who didn't want to hear a joke about his wife, and a black man who gave a joke and apparently didn't consult before he gave the joke. Who
You
who
think that's
who who, who
you think
moved
that's
that?
you really think that's the first Jada joke he ever heard?
No. That's certainly the first Jada joke that he ever heard. That's the point. Like,
Hmm.
it's just like the week before, Laverne Cox, the transgender actress and model, asked on the red carpet, or 2 weeks before on the red carpet, to Will and Jada right beside each other. So no more entanglements, referring to the infamous red table stuff. And, he swallowed it and just sort of smiled it off, and Jada was doing her Jada thing. No more entanglements. And then we flash forward to this Chris Rock joke that is a reference to like a damn near 30-year-old Ridley Scott movie of a strong, beautiful woman who decides to break through in the military.
Yeah.
Which completely unrelated. Like, Chris Rock,
Yeah.
as vicious as he is, he could have gone those directions.
Yeah.
You think that was all a big work by the Oscars itself, so Will Smith can be smirched on what seemed to be the biggest night of his life?
I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to say people know who they can and can't run up on. Right?
Well, that's true. That's true.
It might have been something deep there. I think he just kind of lost control if it was real. You know what I mean? And to lose self-control and to, Jada was sitting right next to him. And if she didn't stop him from going up, you know what I mean? She condoned that. She could have called him back. I think he could have had the same effect, by saying, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
He could have sat down and said all that and showed his anger, and that would have been enough.
And it would have had the same effect, I think.
But he walked up there with a smirk too, Ty. He was kind of
he laughed when he walked away.
He laughed when he walked away.
Yeah, I thought it was fake when he walked away. I thought it was fake.
We're waiting for comedian Tommy Taylor Jr. to pop up in here and give us his thoughts. Also, just as a man of the tribe of being on stage, like, okay, you're gonna have to frisk the crowd before you get up in there. Are you now censoring yourself? Like, what is? I don't. Where we go with this, people keep excusing that. I don't think there's any excuse for it. You can understand it all you want, but it's different than excusing.
It's gonna go to people who's just gonna start whipping ass back.
Why did they air it? They aired it because it was live. First Home Tuber, it's a live show.
No, it was live in other countries. You know what I mean? Yeah. They could censor that.
Well, they gave the delay for it. Meanwhile, Tommy Taylor's just popped in a very Machiavelli looking setup. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, fellas?
Looking fly as usual. Tommy Taylor Jr., everybody, comedian, actor, and a man of the stage and the mic. He was on our first time doing this. We had a comedy-filled show, the joke game, and this is the joke game. The other side of the joke game of mics and men. Now we got to talk about manhood and protecting your wife and your spouse and controlling angers and what do comedians do? Tommy, what say you? Just so your initial thought when you saw/heard of the slap heard around the world.
So I was actually out performing, and I saw like the Instagram highlights. Initially, I thought it was fake. To be honest with you guys, I thought it was like a stunt because when he walks into the stage, like Chris is leaning up, like
he's bracing for like. What is Will gonna improv?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna try to say something to him or whisper something to him.
He literally has his hands behind his back. He leans up, and then Will he just comes forward and smacks him, and it seems like it was scripted. And then he sits down, and then like the verbiage after that was kind of like, oh, like what's going on? And you see people's reactions. You're like, yo, like It's for real. It's not for real. So I honestly thought it was scripted, but I don't know. The weird thing about it to me was like Jada and Will aren't even sitting next to each other.
They're across. They're like catty corner across from each other.
If you look at it, I just watched it a couple times, but you look at the footage, like they don't even look at each other during the whole time. Like when Will's on stage and he comes back, she kind of like laughs, and but they never make eye contact. Like yo, like what's going on, or like yeah, I appreciate you, or like a smile, nothing. So
Right,
it's like they're in their own separate worlds. I don't know. The whole thing was weird.
Like you look at how she's seated across, but sort of catty corner to Will. She sort of looks like the school teacher when you go on a field trip and she has the front of the bus and she wants to make sure these kids don't act up too much. So she's looking back like this, and Will is right there. They're not seated next to each other like husband and wife.
Yeah, you notice they never make eye contact with each other like during the whole situation. So I mean, my initial reaction, I thought it was like scripted, and I was like, hold up, like is this for real? Like, or is it not for real? And but then like I don't know, just off of knowing everything I know about, you know, all of the celebrities and everything, is like this moment was bigger than everybody, right? So like to me it had to be scripted, because not only was you know, all like the woke black tribe was talking about like protect black women and things like that, but if you really look at this, that's not protecting black women. And it was a black woman for the first time in history produced the Oscars along with Will Packer. Both of them were produced as Shayla. Two black people producing the Oscars. There are other people who are winning, and so like the moment was bigger than Will and Jada. So for him, he's such a smart guy. Like I know he knows that. So it was like to make that moment about you and make the whole show about you and your wife, or your entangled wife, whatever's going on. Which is it's still kind of like mind-boggling. Like it's just like it can't be real, all right?
It took the
to be such an A-list celebrity and know all the things he knows about like the efforts, and like they boycotted last year because it was too white, and now they made it way too black.
Way too black. The ratings, by the way, for those who care about these things, were up 56%. But that was going to have an upward trend anyway, because this is a kind of a post-pandemic situation. You got the full audience there, so this was the first normal type of produced Oscars. But it's certainly drawn a lot of social media clicks. 56%.
And now, like I'm thinking, like protect black women. Like, what about like the black women who are up for awards, who produce the show? And now, like, you think about, like, white people are going to say, you know what? I don't think we should have black producers anymore. You know, I mean, but in a way, everything kind of leans back on the people who put the show together, right? So unless Will Packer's coming out with, like, Bad Boys 4, and this is all, like, some big, like, stunt, like, that would be genius marketing, though. Like, come out with, like, Bad Boys 8, like Chris Rock, Will Smith.
It's dangerous marketing, because you know I remember CBS getting fined upwards to $1 million for Janet Jackson's titty out. Yeah. You know, and that's a live event.
It's worth it to do.
Yeah, so now you're talking about assault on TV and 2 F-bombs, but they did have the 5-second delay. You know, they have the dump button, the audio dump button. So that's why we didn't know what was happening in America. But thankfully for the Japanese feed, with Japanese people translating, not knowing what the hell was going on, they were saying, well, they were able to give us the full audio of everything that transpired. People are saying Tommy is missing the point. I feel like there's a number of points with this moment.
Oh, that's Avery. He always talking trash.
Ty, you want to get in here? What's your initial thoughts here? I know you said you thought it was like a very Machiavellian situation, a quid pro quo of sorts, like, hey, black folks need to cut the fool for a black man to receive an award with a label being king. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said initially. Remember we were talking about it? I said, ain't no way they're going to give an Oscar to a black man named King. And it feels like this incident evens it out a little bit. Like, and this is just me probably overthinking everything. And then I also said that we're forgetting that everyone is benefiting off of a black woman's pain, right? Because of the clicks, of the views, of, you know, the extra 56%, you know, that is happening when it comes to the extra attention that the Oscars is getting. I feel like there's something deeply rooted there for him to lose self-control like that. We talk about, protecting his wife. But I feel like she could have also did some things to protect him as well. As he started walking up there, she could have been like, "Hey, where you going?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What you gonna do? Come
But
back?
I did hear someone say too is like
Something."
to protect black women. I think that's like a little overblown in this situation because
Hmm.
that's also saying that she didn't have the power to protect herself in that moment against like words, which for you could construe that they were like positive or negative. However people take the joke.
Hmm.
Because as Shawn said, like G.I. Jane was actually a pretty like bold movie. Like we didn't more cut her hair as a show of power or whatever. But
Yeah.
you can also take that negatively or whatever. So I mean, you can read the joke either way you want to. But at the end of the day, as a black woman, she's also strong enough and
Yeah.
powerful enough, well
Yeah.
spoken enough to like protect herself in that moment and the will to back her up. I mean, so it's like you're saying she's defenseless to like do anything for herself, which
Hmm.
I think as a a strong black woman, she definitely is capable of that. So in that sense, I don't know. I don't think I definitely yeah. And then the hit, I mean, that could have all been handled backstage after that as well. Like if you wanted like, yo, bro, like, and then if he didn't respond properly, then you could have escalated whatever. But that was just, to me, it was just if it was real. Again, I do wonder like, what are your biggest conspiracy theories? I feel like that's there are a lot of conspiracies that could come out of this. Like, what are your biggest conspiracy theories about this whole incident?
I think it was the one I just explained.
Yeah. You came up with Zapruder
That's Will's
film.
payment. You know what I mean? It's always something, right? Like Halle Berry was getting raped. You know what I mean? Denzel was getting whipped.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean? It's like it's always something. It's always something, and I just I can't not think of it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that, Ty. I just don't see how those
I mean, not
strings
getting
can be
raped. She
pulled.
wasn't getting raped. I
Well,
take
yeah,
that
yeah,
back.
but
She wasn't getting
she
raped
was getting it from the ugliest white man in
by a
Hollywood.
white dude.
I remember
Denzel get whipped by a white dude.
I remember being a reporter in Durham, North Carolina, when Monsters Ball came
Hmm.
out. That's the movie that Halle Berry won for. And I was involved with a media roundtable with a guy who's also an Academy voter, and David David Green, David Gordon Green, who now does work with Crazy Boys on. Gosh,
Hmm.
I'm losing my stuff, but yeah, he's like he's a comedic director, whatever. And so we're all sitting around, we're talking and stuff, and they're talking about how great Halle Berry was, blah 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 blah, how great she was. And I said, only thing I see are a bunch of white guys. I actually said this. Maybe that's why I didn't have a job later. All I see are a bunch of white men talking about how great she was because she was butt naked getting it from a white man. There
I'm
was
telling you,
nothing about
man.
that performance that says she needs a trophy.
Yeah,
And
man.
the liberal Oscar voters were all mealy mouthed and quiet. But
I
that
feel
that
like
was
I
go
feel
ahead.
like they are constantly doing that to appease both sides of the aisle. And I talk about that with Saturday Night Live a lot because it's always negative black stereotypes on Saturday Night Live that they try to make funny. You know what I mean? Um, and I just can't not think about it.
Yeah,
There is one thing that Will said at the end that I do kind of agree with, and I really, really felt him on that. And that's when he said, I think he said something to the likes like he's at a point in his life where he feels like the universe is asking him to be the protector of the voiceless or something like that.
he also said he was a river of peace during that word salad of an apology or
Hmm.
whatever acceptance speech that was. You can't be a
Hmm.
river of peace if your first response, excuse me, your second response after
Yeah,
you laughed was to go up on stage, walk 50 paces, and smack a fellow black man in the mouth.
yeah,
That ain't
and,
no river of peace.
yeah. And then I also thought about the Charlemagne Birdman situation where Charlemagne was like, "Why you ain't go at him like that? Why you coming for?" What do you say? Why you coming for the reporter like that?
Yeah.
I'm just the reporter. Like Chris Rock is just a comedian. You know what I mean? Chris is doing his job.
The other thing I was thinking about was, people kept going back to protecting black women and everything, but like, what if, like say he had a. So one thing I will say is like, feelings aren't facts,
Mhm.
right? So people have a right to feel a certain way about anything, but that doesn't make it fact or true. So I was like, what if like Will Smith's wife was white, and that whole situation happened? Would people have the exact same feelings that he was justified in, like
You mean
smacking
would
another man?
black people
Yeah,
have
well, yeah,
those
particularly
same?
black people.
What if Chris Rock was white?
He ain't going up on that stage then. There ain't no way he's gonna go up on that stage with all the white men who's made him millions, and he's
Right.
gonna go.
So,
He ain't smacking Jimmy
so
Kimmel.
when you were talking about like white privilege, I wasn't even thinking of it like that at all.
I was.
Because I feel like Will considers himself an equal, right? He's the one of the highest selling dudes out there, right? So Will's probably not thinking like that. I feel like white privilege would have been him smacking a white dude. You know what I mean?
Well,
That
I
would,
think.
to me,
Well,
would be
the reason I say
considered
white
white
privilege is
privilege.
that you can go up there, smack a peer, refuse to leave when the academy. That's the breaking news that we had on tonight's show. Refuse to
But
leave
that,
when the academy asks you to leave,
mhm.
and stick around. They give you gold. They give you an award at the end, and you have all of the top people asking, "Are you okay?" And then you have people who love you, like your fans saying, "Hey, I can understand why he did such and such." People try to justify it. It's the same thing with like Trump voters, right?
Yeah,
Just because you like the guy doesn't mean that he ain't break no laws.
I,
And black privilege, no, white privilege is that. Black privilege doesn't get an explanation. Black situation is not even privilege. Black circumstance doesn't get any explanations or condolences or a souring or sanding of the edges of the crime that you commit. The judge ain't trying to hear your story. White privilege, though, is like, hey, maybe we can couch this, nuance it, give him a fine. He gets to keep his trophy. He gets to stay. He has his moment, blah, blah, blah.
I looked at it more as like buck fighting.
Well,
You
the
know,
other buck didn't
that
fight
wasn't
no time.
staged. You're right. You're right.
The other
So
buck acted like Cary Grant. He put his hand
you're
behind
right.
his back and was like, "Oh, I'm stunned." I think Chris asked. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, Tommy. But if you look at it, I think Chris had another line that he was about to give as Will was walking off, and he decided not to give it because I think it would have inflamed it. I think he had a joke.
I felt like Chris was about to swing back,
Chris
but
has
he
been
stopped
working out.
himself.
Chris is in
He
shape. He's been
stopped
working
himself.
out.
He did ball his fist up. Like what mother? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the
And then he
Bed-Stuy.
caught himself.
He's
Yeah.
like, I ain't getting beat up like it was, and everybody hates Chris.
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts on
Yes,
that.
I mean,
Tommy.
I think,
Get in here. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, I mean, like people say, I think Chris handled the best he could in that situation, because for several reasons. And then, you know, when Will was saying like, keep my wife's name out your mouth, he's like, okay, I am. Like, if he had been, so I just think in that moment, if he had actually been saying that to be visceral or to like really have ill intent, he would like he would have quickly retorted with something else.
Yeah.
Like and fried them both up or whatever.
Mhm.
But he was like, yeah, like no, it was just a joke. Like it wasn't in a mean spirit as well. Like so I think intent also has something to say with that. And his reaction I think indicated what his intent was.
True.
So yeah.
He slapped me into August.
He's been dealing with hecklers for what, 30 years, right? He know how to respond
Yeah.
to hecklers, you know.
Well, Tommy, if you were Chris, you just gave that joke. What are you doing after you just got slapped?
I mean,
what do you think you're doing? I know you can't.
I would have ducked first of all. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a hard situation, like to say. And you guys have been in television as well, so like you're on TV and you have a job to do. You know, first of all, and so there's a lot of things that just because you're a professional, you're gonna like try to kind of stay in the moment, but then like you're also confused, like what just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like if that was me, I don't know what I would do, to be honest. Like I would have had to be in that moment, like. And again, I think for me, depending on what my like intent was, if I really hated them, and then like he come over and says like, "Oh yeah, here we go," I'm already ready to fire back over everything, fist, words, all this stuff. But if like if my intent wasn't negative, which I don't think Chris was, I probably would maybe had a similar reaction, to be honest, because you're confused, like what's going on, and then you also kind of trying to keep things rolling, and yeah, it's a weird situation to be in front of, and you're also not trying to make the moment about you, right? Like it's about the award show. People like this is like the biggest moment in. Although I have my own feelings about the Oscars and things like that, but this is the biggest moment for like actors' lives right here, right? Like this is the Holy
night,
Grail, right?
Yeah.
So that Todd, the internet got cut. He didn't pay his bill again. Golly, those 40 love checks.
And Ty's a tech guy, so
they're ready for love checks. Ain't hit yet, huh?
Will Packer put all his money into the Oscars production. Yeah, so guys, that's a disclaimer. Will Packer produced Ready to Love that Ty and I were on, and also he got his big moment as a producer. And by all accounts, he was given thumbs up for producing a very interesting Academy Awards show up until that point. I don't think this was scripted, though. I just don't see that. Well, all right, now you get on stage now, this point on, as a comedian. I know your humor is not flagrant. You're a funny man, but it's not flagrant. But do you feel the censorship or the raps on you as a comic now, wondering who's going to storm up here, thinking they got the right to storm up here?
That actually hasn't really happened to me. Somebody says Will enforces the aggressive black man narrative in
front of a predominantly white audience, and he ain't ever been a vessel for anything like that.
Yeah. But to answer your question, actually, I did a show like 2 weeks ago, and a comic that was opening up for me. I was like headlining the show, and there was I think she was just drunk, but like it was a Trump supporter lady. And it was actually a white girl who was on stage, and like so the lady she made some kind of Trump joke, and then the lady was ended up trying to walk on stage. Security had to like come grab her and pull her back or whatever. Yeah, I don't. That's actually never happened to me before. Like somebody trying to come on stage. But that's also how depending on what situation you're in, like that stuff can easily happen.
How have you and your fellow comics been talking about this?
Pretty much the same as everybody else. I think like a lot of people try to are using it, as content. Project their thoughts. Put their ideas and stuff out there. Different jokes. So, which have been pretty funny. I don't know if I should say them, but
no, you can if you want. Go for it.
No, it's like a lot of the memes, or what do you call them, the memes that are popping up there. Yeah, it's been pretty funny about them. But I don't know. I think it's just like people taking like kind of one stance or the other. Some making it very political. Some see like just the basic humanity in it. Some like see the funny parts in it. So it's interesting like to see how people are reacting to this moment in time, especially because it's like two of the biggest comedian, like one of the biggest actors out there. So there's a lot to kind of unpack there.
Amara says, hey Amara, when you decide to become a better version of yourself, that ego does not and will not go down without a fight. Some of the worst moments become benchmarks on the journey. And this is something that he sort of references to in his biography, which I have here. His biography, Will. And, as you get stronger, you feel
got product placement.
Yeah, it's product placement for him. I don't know if it's going to work again, but yeah, so we got to at least get him to sell some books. But yeah, when you are getting stronger, your body gets weak at the same time too. I mean, you have to recover so those muscles build. That's the metaphor here. You're gonna backstep. You're gonna backslide a little bit. I don't know if this is a backsliding. I feel like maybe he's reflecting on a lot of things. The pandemic has been tough for him. Remember, he had weight issues, right? He didn't look like Will Smith. Remember, he had a weight challenge. Although I felt like that was a big work for him to like get more views. And then the August Alsina thing and the red table. I feel like no one should ever go to the red table. Ain't nothing good gonna come going to the red table. But make it a blue table or something. But if it's a red table, ain't nothing good gonna come of that. I think we're gonna have Ty fly back in here. I think he's ready to come back in here now.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I think Will has been broken down by that relationship. Yeah, because like all the things you said, like he's been like they put him as the crying emojis. You know, he's gone through all kinds of stuff with his wife. Like their whole so all this time, like they always said they weren't swingers, and then they said that publicly. I remember Oprah years ago because there's so many rumors about him and Jada, and like it never really came out until the August Alsina thing, and like then he made the song with Rick Ross, so he like doubled down, and like all this attention was coming on them in a time where in the pandemic, like everybody had nothing to do but to like consume this media, right? So like they were the topic of the whole world at that point. So I think all this stuff just hit him. Like he's at home eating, you know, and yeah, like somebody said, he is a human. So I feel like he's been put through a lot of like stress or whatever. And then Jada probably home like talking trash to him, talking, "Hey, you ain't Tupac," and you know all this other stuff. And all this stuff definitely has an effect on him, no matter how motivational, all that kind of stuff they are. You know, somebody said they're not swingers; they just allow each other to have fun. Well, clearly they did not come back as a united front. So
their unity sucks.
Yeah, so
something's up with their unity to me. But
yeah, so I would say like all that stuff leads into him kind of like spiraling out of control a little bit. You know, I mean, in a way you can't blame him. Like how he handled it definitely should have been done better, and like shouldn't have happened that way. But man, that's a lot of stress to put on. You know, and then she made him come on YouTube and talk about it.
Yes, and
bro, like I was like, nah, nigga, I ain't coming.
Yeah,
you talk about your
but that's the thing, Tommy. That's part of the buildup. He came on the show for her entanglement, and yet he come out looking like, what did he say? He said he felt like one of those wives of governors who had an affair, and he's just standing by his woman. He had no masculine salvo, no jigginess with it, if we use his words. Like he came out of that as a meme, a crying meme. The Jordan meme was blended in with Will Smith. Meanwhile, she's like, yeah, I did that. And I did that with that young boy. But however, Will, we're here now. We're here. Why are we even here? Why are they even doing that on national TV? Why are they even there?
Yeah, she made him like strut across the internet for her glory and get some more. I don't know. That has to break you down as a person, as a human.
You know, Derek Jackson did that too when he brought his wife out there, and you know, people didn't like him. I see a lot of women caping for Jada.
Well, they did it. They did like the IG Live. She brought him on a whole scripted show, or like not a scripted show, but a whole like produced. They had full cameras and everything in there, so he had to come sit at the table and with his daughter in the room, like.
Yeah.
What you mean? For the
wasn't Willow on there too?
Talk?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if she was there. I just remember Will and
so somebody said like, you know, they come back as united front, but that's the whole thing. Will probably had his entanglements too, but they clearly weren't as messy as Jada's were, or Jada's was. So it's like how you handle it, and like all that stuff. I think just leads to more and more strife, and you know, a person can only take but so much.
I think if you got anything that leads to that much strife, you got to untangle yourself from that entanglement.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's the simplest straight line. That's the through line that I got. Ty, you want to get in here? Welcome back, Ty.
Yeah. Thanks. I got disconnected. I just think it's so much. I think there's a lot that we won't even know. I mean, it could be acting, you know, could be real. It could be the conspiracy theories that I came up with earlier. And I think it's just, you know, kind of meant for us to have these type of discussions, right? There's plenty of friends that are for Will, and there's plenty of my friends that are against Will. And I think it's just the person, right? Most people who have self-control probably would have acted that way. And sometimes you could lose it. You know what I mean? You could have self-control and just be like, yo, that nigga was talking shit, therefore he need to get it. He need to catch these hands. You know what I mean? And times are different now. And maybe this is the precedent. you know, that you just gotta watch what you say when you're on that stage, even if you are telling jokes. And, you know, too bad it's going that way, you know, because you can't, you know, we're supposed to be able to separate jokes from real life. But it seems like, you know, if you take it too far, you can get them paws.
Did
You
he
know,
take it? Did he take it that far?
I mean, it's not on him to decide, right? It's on the person that he's talking about. But in the end, it's assault. In the end,
Well,
there should have been security.
Would
You
y'all
know
have
what I
pressed
mean?
charges?
Huh?
I would have been petty. I would have pressed charges.
I almost feel like he should do that. You know, it does feel petty. You know, the streets may not like it, but I think about an old Jamie Foxx joke when he was talking about his run-in with LL Cool J during the filming of Any Given Sunday. And
Yeah.
I'll just refresh people if you haven't heard it, but he's like, LL Cool J was like, we're a football team. He's like, hit me back, and hit me back. Let's get into it like we're football. And Jamie Foxx says, I'm an actor. Anyone hit me, they're going to be fired.
Yeah. Sherry, I did mention that. Sherry, I did mention that Jada saw Will get up and walk on stage, and she didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? She could have tugged at him. She could have grabbed him. She could have said something like, "Where you going? Sit down."
And they weren't sitting close enough for her to tug at him.
Babe, sit back down.
That's right. Because she
was
looking like a school mom on a school
She could have been like, "Babe, sit back down." You know, it's all good. We'll get his ass later.
But the question is, how do you go from, hey, that was a pretty humorous joke, ha 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 ha, to within 10 seconds, unmitigated, well, you can't say unmitigated rage, but he was smiling while he did it.
Because he saw how it affected his lady.
But he got up there quick, too.
He saw how it affected his lady.
He never looked at it. I think he just had like all the grief that she put him through, all the strife, the turmoil. Because she brought him on the show on Red Table after she had the entanglement, after the world knew about it, and then told everybody how much she didn't like him. She didn't want to be in the same room with them at a certain point in their marriage, and he was talking about how he still loved her, and he's like, yo, he's doing all this stuff. I just think the dude just blew up because they never made eye contact at any point.
Yeah.
So this was all. I think he just trigger. He had that Kanye trigger. Just popped off.
Yeah. He's like, I know bitch ass Chris Rock ain't saying this shit in front of all these people.
He wouldn't know they were earthquakes though. Earthquake guy, he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I said that earlier. You know who you can run up on and who you can't. You know. But yeah.
Chris Rock. Okay, so I said we were going to do some updates. CNN has a little update here. Chris Rock made an emotional return to the stage Wednesday night for the first time since Will Smith slapped him. Let me be all misty and shit, Rock said, with tears in his eyes, gesturing to the crowd's warm response. How was your weekend? He quipped. How was your weekend? So the audience responded with laughter. I don't have a bunch of shit to say about that, so if you came here for that, he said, paused and then continued. I had written a whole show before this weekend. I'm still processing what happened. Let me start. So at some point, I'll talk about shit.
I like that.
At some point, I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah,
at some point, I'll talk about this shit. It'll be serious. It'll be funny. But right now, I'm going to tell some jokes. And the comedian, currently on his ego death tour, then moved on with his show. So Rock is still processing and he's writing. Tommy, you're the comedian here. You're writing. What do you think about that?
Oh, man. I think it's... All right, so a couple things. So, number one, he's prepping for, his big tour, which means you got, which he's probably going to do a special or whatever about it. So you have, a good amount of time that you want to do, right? And certain comedians, I think, like Chris, they're more, structured. So he definitely has a say he wants to do because he has points he wants to make, right? So
absolutely, it's a dissertation.
Yeah, so now it's all right, with that, this time you may not even want to address, right? And now you got other stuff that you got to fit into the time, because you're on a concert tour or whatever. So a lot of times they charge you extra for going over time, right? So you just can't freestyle it for 2 or 3 hours, whatever. So now he has to all right, address. As a comedian, you have to address kind of what's going on, but you also have stuff that you want to get out and want to work through as like you progress through the tour, which usually culminates in like a taping. So you know, which has to be a tight 60 minutes, whatever it is. So now I think it does put a little wrench in it in a way, but it could depending on how it writes or whatever, definitely he can get some good material out of it. But at the same time, you have stuff that you definitely that you've been preparing for, that you want to get out, and now everybody's looking for something different than what you necessarily intended. So it's it could be a whole different show.
Does anyone know if his prices went up for the show?
Oh yeah, ticket prices went up. I want to say almost like 300, 400%. Tickets went as low as $47 up to $349. So that's way more than that percentage that I gave you on average. So it's a hot ticket. With that said, I think you're absolutely right, Tommy. And furthermore, watching Talking Funny, where it was Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais got these guys together to talk about comedy. Rock is professorial. He wants to work out the material. He wants to polish it. He wants to go on tour with it on the off-beaten circuits. Just walk up on stage and try some stuff out. And I've seen Dave do that too. Chappelle's done that too. Just because Will Smith acted rash doesn't mean Rock has to. You know what I mean? Rock can do his thing. He can respond to this any way he wants to. And frankly, even after the tour that he has now, which parts of those dates are shared with Kevin Hart, he can do it after that and have his own insulated thing, because this will be a big deal at least until the next Oscars, right? So, I mean, shit, I still don't know if Moonlight won the Oscars. It was La La Land, wasn't it? Right? I mean, these infamous moments can last for a long time, and just because one man acted rashly doesn't mean another man doesn't have to think about his future and get back to work and deal with it the way he wants to. Because in theory, although some people don't want to say it or believe it, he's a victim. He got assaulted while working on international television. 1 billion people. So take that as it will. And also there's been mentions of how the moment really did swallow up a lot of black folks' excellence, from Questlove, who's getting the award right after that, who had some words with Chris Rock as they walked off stage, to Sam Jackson getting the Governor's Award on Friday, the 2 nights before. Sam Jackson getting an award, to Shaq and Steph Curry getting an Academy Award for their film shorts. So we don't even talk about those guys.
Yeah, it's like the worst time to win an Oscar.
It was the worst time. Like that shit don't even.
And I think like Questlove's documentary was super pivotal, because it was a I didn't even know about this story, but like back, I guess in the 60s or 70s, they had that big concert, and they documented, but like nobody would air the footage of all these great black singers performing or whatever. So this was like a huge moment for that, and to also just not only win that award, but also to continue telling that story, which I think still a lot of people don't even know about. And so that was overshadowed, right? And it was like a whole lot of stuff that was overlooked because of this moment.
You're talking about Summer of Soul, and Jay Brown. Go ahead, read what Jay Brown said.
Yeah, Jay was on there. Jay actually reminded me of something, of that joke where Dave Chappelle said, slapping somebody is like challenging them to a duel. Like somebody got to die. Yeah.
So we got to die now.
Jay
but
said
man, now you got two brothers. Chris took it for the race. I say that because had he exchanged blows, now you got two niggas fighting at the black Oscars, at the black produced Oscars. Now it's two niggas scrapping.
I think.
And we can't have that just because of one man's ridiculous aggression.
I think a physical response would have been justified, black or white.
It still would have been ugly.
I mean? It would have been justified.
It would have been the source of war.
So
we've had rappers in the same room that ain't
even
even shot up each other, who've said and done myriad things.
I would have taken Will to that red table and then made it a little extra red. Look at what
Woo! I see it. I see what you did there.
We had a real red table out of that.
Let me do some radio stuff here. It's actually 11 past the hour. We're here with Tommy Taylor Jr., our good friend from our earlier joke game broadcast. That was like our second episode. I think we're on episode 8. This is our last episode of this volume of the Shawn Show. I'm here with Tyrone Wingman. We're going to start the second volume later next month. But right now we're just chilling, and we're presented by Body Butter Bakery. Although, Kym, I know you're watching. She ain't got none of her products ready for you to buy. I'm just kidding. So she's got the oils. She just ain't got the labels for the men oils. So there's
Like if
men's oils.
you could probably moisturize your hands in case you want to slap anybody with body butter.
Body Butter Bakery, get you some greased up hands. That'll make that slap real juicy, real good juicy slap. So we just read off Chris Rock's statement. He said he's still trying to process the situation to an audience in Boston that is filled to the gills. And he's like, I'm gonna have some shit to write. I'm gonna say some funny shit. I got some other stuff to process, but I'm still processing the whole thing right now. That's Chris Rock's statement. Wanda Sykes said she was sad for her friend. Nobody talking about Chris Rock. And Amy Schumer had a big long diatribe about the Detroit on her Instagram page. So that's where we are right now. And the Academy said they're doing an investigation. Yeah. Catch a body with some body butter. I like it, Jay. Talking about writing material when you have conflict in your life. Can you talk about that, Tommy? Because, do you take your personal life to the stage beyond couching it as some type of joke, or is it all about everything's material?
Yeah, I think comedy is based on truth. So, I mean, you definitely have to bring that in there. So I think for me, like a lot of personal stuff gets in there, and you try to find the meaning and points behind it. Things that really resonate with you, like whether it's dating or whatever's going on in your life, and try to bring that across to find that, and also find like that relatability, like what can people relate to about this or whatever.
Yeah, I think the personal stuff is always good, because if Richard Pryor could talk about himself smoking crack and catching on fire and make that shit hilarious. You know what I mean? Then what is off limits?
Well, the thing about it is that Richard Pryor did that to himself. So that's self-depreciation and self-immolation, because he set himself on fire by accident.
But he knows that people wanted to hear about it,
Yeah. And he had to take it to the stage.
And he talked about his homosexual exploits because of the drugs.
When did Eddie talk about his homosexual? Oh, you said Andy. I think you said Eddie. I'm sorry. That was a Freudian.
Yeah, I don't think he ever.
Andy, not Eddie.
I don't think he denied that. I don't think he ever denied that, right?
No, he talked about it in his stand-up.
Yeah.
He just didn't put a stamp on it like Quincy Jones did in his biography. Now, that's a joker who told a lot of secrets. And if anyone would get slapped in public, it might be Quincy Jones. He just told a whole bunch of folks secrets that didn't want told.
What did he say?
Not only about the Richard Pryor was gay and this person was gay, he was outing people, talking about who used drugs, who used drugs all the time. He had some Michael Jackson stuff to say.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
No, he didn't say no allegedly. Quincy Jones.
No, I'm saying allegedly.
I was there, and Richard would be wanting to get a man down and get between his legs. I'm like, Richard, don't you have a? That's my Quincy Jones, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing about it. It's not just speech now. So, here's my thing about this whole thing. Say what you will about whether they had the right for this or that, or that was dirty, or it was her ailment. Your feelings about how you feel doesn't matter to the world. It doesn't. Everyone thinks that just because you may not have come to terms with something that you got going on, the world doesn't care. And the world ain't going to care. I don't think it is. I mean, just because you have these issues, that's why you have to deal with your issues, because the world doesn't care. And it ain't cared. So, okay, people are talking about your wife, and you want to get this guy because he said something and made a comparison to a 90s movie with Viggo Mortensen and Demi Moore. Okay, deal with it a different way, but you can't just start laying hands on people just because you feel some type of way.
That's what I said, like, feelings aren't facts.
Feelings are not facts.
Especially in like this cancel culture age we're in, people always want to associate, and I think that's why it's hard for people to have a difference of opinion, right? Because like, if you disagree with somebody on a subject, even this, whether it's COVID, politics, like people like take their personal feelings and opinions, and like they will attack you because you don't agree with them. When you can have a difference of opinion and still like not be enemies. Like somebody came, I think on my what was it in my story? I said, can we admit that Jada's toxic? Yeah, and then so
I saw that one, by the way. Yeah.
somebody hit me, was like, yo, like blah blah blah. It was like, oh, you sound bitter, this and that. I'm like, no, like you don't have to agree. Like you could definitely disagree. Like for me, I just feel like, you know, all right, well, personally, just anybody like who's Will, whether it be Will or Jada, if you're having extramarital affairs, that's a toxic relationship to me. Like unless somebody else could think differently about that. So I think, or whatever, and that's fine. But like the fact that you can't disagree without attacking somebody or like trying to belittle somebody, I think, you know, it's a whole thing, because I think people don't, they're tying their feelings and facts together. Where like feelings aren't facts. So I think you make a great point right there.
And people can care about your feelings. What I'm saying is society does not stop because you feel down or you feel insecure about something. Those are things you have to tighten up before, you know, you want to lash out at everybody else for making their observations about your shit. It is what it is.
True. I think if it was a little bit different, like if it was a racial joke, Chris Rock was white, then the world would have cared. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends. If you dig deeper into the joke, Demi Moore did end up leaving her husband for a younger dude.
Well, now that's extra deep. I'm pretty sure Will did not have IMDb pulled up.
So
he had G.I. Jane.
It was actually a really good ass joke. It was a good, if you really gonna dig deep into it. You know what I mean?
And Rock could do that. Rock could do that.
Because Ashton Kutcher ended up keeping the wife for quite some time.
Yes, he did.
But they also were a good blended family. So I think they all did like Christmas and birthdays and stuff together.
Yeah.
Weird, but you know, but that you make a good point right there.
So we're at 9:18. I'm going to run this formal part of the Shawn Show till 9:30. We'll wrap it up with Shawn Says, and we'll hang out for overtime. And Tommy, you're welcome to hang out for overtime for a little bit. I know you got a busy schedule, and we could bring some other folks on, but let's mark it in by 11 minutes. We'll wrap up this volume of 8 episodes of the Shawn Show. And I do have something in my Shawn Says about someone mentioned. I think it was SMI Les Are Good mentioned about y'all wanted people to care about your feelings on Ready to Love. I do have something that's tied into Shawn Says that wraps up this whole thing as well. So you ain't putting nothing over me, and it's off the top of the dome because I ain't had no sleep. How's it when you come from vacation you more tired than you were? That was a good vacation. Anyway.
And women twerking next to cigars.
Women twerking next to me, and I sure ain't stunting them. I'm trying to smoke this damn cigar. Like, y'all don't get y'all asses literally.
He gave him the Jada look. He wasn't even paying no attention. He was looking like Jada.
Yeah, I gave him that. Well, are you going to do something? And she did that psionic mind thing. No.
Who's going to be the first rapper to put it in one of their bars?
Oh, Nas is going to mention it pensively because he's
Drake will.
Drake will
say it without saying it because he ain't trying to go there.
I feel like Jada Kiss might do something.
I think he has to.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well,
without saying it,
Kanye would do something, but Kanye's gonna have his own moment soon. The way he's trending, and
I think Tupac gonna come back from the dead
and claim Jada and said he was never for you, he was for me. I would have slapped Chris Rock thoroughly. I don't know if I was alive. Pac, the shadow of Pac is over this whole thing, and. I personally, so it's been an hour and a half. We're talking about people publicly, but I feel that's because they totally, made so much of their lives public. Why is there a red table anyway?
Huh?
Why is there a red table?
That's Jada's. What you mean?
Why is there a red table?
I mean,
Asking introspective questions. Why is the table?
Why is the table
right.
green?
What is
I
a
know what is
table?
up with the table.
What is a table? Do we just keep asking questions until we? No, I feel like she may have needed something to do. You know what I mean? Get her mom involved, talk about stuff to bring discussion. I don't know.
Hey,
You
look,
know what I
Leslie,
mean?
I'm in this red chair because I paid for it. Damn it!
Right.
It ain't programming.
Why is there a Shawn show?
Yo, that's if I was Chris Rock, that's what I would name my next album. Be like the Red Table Jokes or something like that. I would bring it back. That's because I'm petty, but
He's gonna have to. That's his
I
playing
would
field.
come for everybody. I'll make
That's
this album about Jaden wearing a Batman suit. I'll come for the whole family.
Wow. What if he just never says Jada, but says my wife's name? What if he just?
I would call. What was her name on a different world?
The annoying girl on Different World. That wasn't her name. What was her name? She was always trying to protest
That's
and saying sister like this, just to show all of her lower teeth. Sister.
Lena James. That's what it was.
Was it Lena?
Yeah.
Look, sister. It's a different world. Anyway, this is deteriorating. All right, I've exhausted this topic. Tommy, talk about yourself real quick before we get on with other things. What you got going on? I know you still you have Almost Ladies Night. I missed the last one. I got to get there for the next one. When's the next Almost Ladies Night here in DC?
The next one here in the city will be May 20th. So make sure you get your ticket. Might be a double header. I think we might do a back-to-back show that night because they've been doing really well. Yeah, so check out almostladiesnight.com or check me out, Tommy Taylor Jr. Amazing show. Before the show, it's a whole extravaganza. We have a massage company comes out before the comedy show, gives complimentary massages. We got like a MC walking. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. So come check us out. And some of the most beautiful people in the city always attend. Celebrities coming through. It's a good time. So Almost Ladies Night, and then I have a bunch of shows around the city. I think this week and next week. And check out Jordan Rock. He's going to be at the DC Improv this weekend. That's my man. And yeah, we got good things, some TV project stuff coming out. So
Have you?
on the grind.
We're not exploiting your relationship professionally, but have you talked any with the Rock family?
No, actually, not really. Not about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not about this. Gotcha. Cool. Ty, you got anything to add? And also follow Tommy at TommyTaylorJr.com and at Tommy Taylor Jr. On the IG. You got anything to add to this, Ty? When we wrapping up this edition of the Shawn Show?
Nah, nothing much. Just come through on Instagram, come through on YouTube. I'm back on my cybersecurity grind, and I'm took a break, but we're gonna start the mental health journey shows again, starting with myself this weekend. So should be fun.
And mental health is serious business. Like a lot of people have echoed those things when talking about Will Smith or whatever. I think they've done it haphazardly. I'm not mocking anything of his state of mind. I don't know it. I don't think anyone's clinically eligible to do that unless you talk to him personally. We've read books, we've read stories, we know what he's said. It's just a matter that we can't always act like we want to act. You know, you can't, like parents would tell you, you can't stomp your feet, you can't slam doors everywhere. You gotta find a way to channel that and control it, and then push forward and deal with it another way. All right. With that said, I'd like to thank my guest, Tommy Taylor Jr. I'd like to thank Tyrone, as usual, my wingman. I'd like to thank Dr. Ira Davis for explaining the ish on inflation. And I'd like to thank Kym, as usual, for making this possible. This first volume of the Shawn Show, presented by BodyButterBakery.com. And now we're going to wrap this up with Shawn Says. And it's just me talking a few things. So if you fellas don't mind either muting or what have you, just sitting still for a few minutes. I'm just going to wrap. We started this about 8 weeks ago. We did 8 shows straight. 9 weeks ago, really. There was just a couple of lives. And then we just started formatting, and the whole concept of the show was me with all my life experiences and my works, digging into my phone and finding people who've done awesome things, big and small, who have experiences that will be relevant to you all. This is what I'm interested in. It's not the red table. This is the Shawn Show, and I appreciate you all for at least supporting us and checking in on us and buying my sponsor's product, because it's good product and it shows that we're effective and that you've been listening to us. And I didn't know that people, you know, the funny thing about celebrity, even if you ain't got much of it, other people are fascinated with it. I go to Tampa, Florida, and in every black group I'm made. But no, I always get jokes. I know Ty has joked on me about this, like people still think you from Ray Love. No, this is still true. This is black fame when you ain't getting paid for the results, but black people know who you are, either through Scuttlebutt or whatever you've been watching. And from Ready to Love, for my 3 episodes, people recognize me from Ready to Love. Sit down, smoke a cigar. A woman is literally falling over herself trying to talk to me. I ain't got no fame. I ain't got no juice. Other women, a woman who met me wanted to set up a happy hour with all her friends just so we could just hang out. I don't even run the show. But here's the thing about fame, and either that teaspoon of celebrity that I got, it could be the 14th minute, and other people have more fame than me. This whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett thing got me thinking, what are you famous for? Because, you know, we on a dating show, it could be fleeting fame unless you try to extend it if you don't think you have anything else to offer. Sure, the red table is now something that is offerable now. It is helping people heal. There'll be some juicy conversations, some real poignant things that are said. I've even watched an episode or two. My sisters have made me watch a couple of things. It's very appreciative, but there seems to be something else when some people who don't have blockbuster deals, when they don't have albums, when they don't have stars on the Walk of Fame, when that is your partner, sometimes maybe some people are trying to extend and highlight themselves. And how they do it, how I've seen some people that I even know from my cast and or other people's cast, they want to continue to give you what they can, the only thing that they can, and it's content about them. And now we're all here talking about Will Smith and Jada and their kids, but that's because they've told us so much, haven't they? Denzel and his wife, and Sam and his wife, we don't know anything about them, do we? Because they're okay with their stations in their lives. They're okay with, okay, you may make a lot of money here, but I do my own thing. I'll be on this Law and Order episode. I don't feel like other relationships are trying to compete to the point where I'm going to tell you every detail and morsel. And I feel like one party is dragging the other party to make their lives so freaking public. It's the Kardashianization of the world, where you have to keep yourself going, or you think you make yourself viable by letting us know every damn thing about you. This is from a man who I'm very guarded about what I share. You see my apartment, you saw my sister, you've seen pictures of my family, you've seen me on a reality show, but you don't know anything about me. You can be public and still be private. But it's when you decide to make your private like your public proposition is when you get other people in your mess. And we get other people in your mess, now you feel like you're in the fishbowl. Especially if one of you may not be so good at dealing with that type of fishbowl. When one of you write 500-page books about the pain and trauma that you've already endured, and yet you have to publicly go to these red table talks and not show agency, but show contrition as if you were the one who brought on the humiliations. That's what happens when you lead your private life for everyone to see. Because I was on a little talk show, I was on a little dating show for 3 episodes that was watched at one point by 2 million people. The Academy Awards is estimated to be watched by 1.3 billion people worldwide. And now you're in a different type of entanglement because the whole world saw you at your lowest and your highest point all within an hour of each other. That's Shawn Says. And I say sooner or later, we all have to say so and keep it moving. That concludes the talk. That concludes the show. This is the cut point. Now we're in Shawn Overtime. I'm going to pour me a drink. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, if Ty is willing, maybe 3. And we're going to talk our stuff. I'm still around on IG, of course. But that's it. We're in overtime. Let's chat it up. If anybody want to talk about anything, give me your ideas and your thoughts. And that's it.
Yo, I'm back on my health grind. I might make it official, but I'm thinking about starting a health challenge for all of April.
All of April. What's your health challenge?
I'm thinking 100 miles in April. Just get 100 miles.
Like 100 miles of walking?
For the month. 100 miles. So it could be 100 miles of anything.
Like Uber Eats?
Because I might post my stats from last April, but I did 5 miles every day for the entire month of April. So it's 15,000 steps a day, every day. Yeah. I ain't gonna say no alcohol. But the other thing is I bought a truck. I bought a truck today. So I had my first ride today. So
You bought a what today?
I'm a little bit excited, huh?
You
bought a what?
Yeah, a trek, a bike.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know I'm a biking fool, so
I didn't know that. But
anytime you want to go, let's go.
All right. You got a road bike, hybrid?
That's that white people money right there, the trek. Hey, okay, Ty, I see you, bro.
I got a like a Schwinn, a big sporty Schwinn. It's a road bike, but it's sort of like a hybrid. It's kind of like
mine's is it straight handlebars? Yeah, mine's a straight flat.
Yeah, I used to have the cycling to the front handlebars and shit. I'll tell you this, during the pandemic, I got into biking. I was up to 200 miles a week.
So the goal is a centennial.
What? 100 miles, one trip?
That's the goal.
I don't know about that, Ty. As I go grab this damn Seagram's behind
me. We go ride out to Percival and come back.
All right. So we go right out to Percival, call an Uber,
and come back. That's it. That's 50 miles.
I'm gonna make a drink. Ty, you got the calm. I can hear you guys.
Huh?
As long as you've ridden this far or so far.
How many?
Yeah, how many miles have you ridden in a single?
Oh, I did 17 once, but it was an old mountain bike. Like I would not ride that thing again. You know what I mean? Okay. But yeah, today was my first day. I had to get those miles in.
Get the miles up, G.
So the other thing is, like, on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of mental challenges. So, you know, you may see me do the cold showers. You know, it's in my profile too. So I do the cold showers. I do
wait a minute, what's the point of the cold shower?
I do the physical challenges. So the cold showers is a mental challenge. Plus, the cold also helps you heal. You know, it helps boost your immune system. So after every shower, the last 2 minutes of your shower should be cold water.
Now, what y'all should do is the Shawn Show from an ice bucket.
I would do that.
See who lasts longest.
That would be the
Nina
white
wants
Shawn
to know
show.
why men cheat. I have explained over and over and over why men cheat.
Why men cheat?
Oh yeah, Jada, we do have a Sakanos prep class.
Question?
Yeah, people ask all the time. Men cheat because the thrill of the hunt outweighs the loss of losing the girl.
Well, black men don't cheat, but you talking
Exactly.
for the others, for the other persuasions out there.
Yeah. But yeah, the cold water, who said it really well? The cold immersion is really, really good for you.
Have y'all done the cryo chamber?
Nope. Another thing is getting into meditation. So I started getting into it's called transcendental meditation. So even if it's just 20 minutes a day, it really helps clear the mind.
Leslie says she'll be laughing at us while she's on the greens. Leslie, I gotta get on the greens with you at that time.
I'm trying not to give away too much content for what I'm gonna talk about this Saturday. Basically, the topic this Saturday is gonna be how I addressed anxiety and PTSD. Beat it. Have I ever cheated in my life? Yes, I have.
Only on his diet, though. That's it.
I have. I was deployed twice. The first time I wasn't so good. The second time I was really good. So yes, I have.
Sherry says a challenge should be to do a good deed, by the way, Ty, every day during the month of April for someone.
I think you're doing that anyway, right?
I feel like I've been doing that. And
Yeah,
Sherry's a good
like
woman. She means that, and she's Canadian.
Yeah. I'm Ty Wilson 21 on YouTube. Yeah.
I don't give away all your content now.
No, on the back end, I recently agreed to do a segment with Kamisha.
Oh boy. When are you doing that?
I think it's gonna be this Saturday maybe. Just real quick. Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as real quick on these things. You see, we still on it.
Real quick. If it's Friday, I'm doing a CTF all day Friday. Saturday, I have my meetup, and I'm gonna be on my own segment, so it's gonna be 2 busy days. So we'll see.
Nice.
Not all military men cheat. Uniquely Sherry.
Saturday's Final Four, so I got an event early in the day. I got speed dating, and then I have Final Four. But I just care about that Duke Carolina game.
Why?
I hope Duke loses.
So for all y'all asking us the questions, you got to be willing to answer the question if you're going to ask the question.
Oh, by the way, while they're trying to figure out the question, so it is finally up. I'll put the link on tomorrow on my page. We're doing speed dating next Saturday. Kitchen Cray, Virginia. It's happening. We're ready to go. Black speed dating. Black speed dating.
I can come and help you.
You can come and move chairs around, Ty. I don't know what else you can do. You can move some shit around.
I could be your co-host or something.
What about you, Tommy? You want to do speed dating?
It might be something to do.
Anybody rich and over 6'3"? Yeah. Don't even give me the line. No, everybody's broke, Toy. Sorry, don't even give me the line. Someone said you be the hype man.
Yeah.
Get in there, tell some jokes. We're tweaking formats. It's not just traditional speed dating. So, hopefully, I will have some sponsored packages when I return in 2 weeks. I promise. I've been promising that since the beginning of this year, but I will have sponsored. And we'll do promotion of this thing and work on getting a better format because. How do you score, Ty? What is that?
Man. Somebody said we need somebody. I'm 6'3". We got money over here, bro. We got.
That movie money. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's up, ladies?
Yo, why that look like strip club money, man?
Why does that shit look like property of Parker Brothers? What's the age range of speed dating? Probably about 30 to 45 or 50. 30 to 50. Yeah, but I gotta ask. So, I wasn't actually looking at comments that time when I was reading it. Well, I was saying it. I guess exhaustion pushes stuff out of you, though. But what did y'all think about what I said with Shawn Says? That last one, if y'all were listening.
That sounded pretty profound. You practice that, or that came off the dome?
That came off the dome. I thought about it, but it came off the dome.
That was not too. No, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty insightful. Made some actually some quality points there.
Thank you. You know, we have notoriety and it's fleeting. These people have fame. Those are two different things, but people treat it as the same thing either way. So, and people can become craving for it. You give them something, they want some more because they want ownership of you. Even if you ain't even all that, I don't think I'm all that.
Well, I think part of what you're saying though comes into like this a new era now. How you're so. I was actually reading something a couple weeks ago, but basically how we have like the metaverse, like the internet world, which is which are facts in its own place, but then you have like in real life. But now, like I think everything is so digital that you actually have like you can live like two different lives basically. So like, and how people see you is what their perception is. If the only way people see you is through like a digital means, television, through social media, which is media nowadays, because even television stations are using social media, all this other stuff, that becomes the reality. So whether like the fame or notoriety, because back in the day, like, even as an actor or whatever, people say, well, you're this guy's an Instagram person or whatever, which had a negative connotation, like you want to be a TV person, but now it's flipped. We're like, okay, you're an Instagram star, that means you're a star. Right? And like you're gonna get brands and companies come to you. So I think that correlation between what's a reality on social media and like the notoriety of fame, it can be construed in different platforms as well. But I think what you're saying about like how the access to yourself, how much you give, I think is important. And it could be intentional, because like, and as you know, like even during your shows and things like that on social media, you're giving part of yourself, right? You're giving your time, like your thoughts, your like part of you to the public, whoever's watching you. And then at the same time, it becomes a strain because you have to produce because people want to consume more. No matter what it is, they want to consume more, and then so you have to give more, and that becomes a and definitely, I think even that battles your mental health, right?
Yes.
So to touch on that a little bit, a lot of people say that they want the fame and that they want the extra attention, but a lot of people can't handle getting it, right? They can't accept it when it happens. So I'd say about a year and a half ago, I was pretty hot in those cyber streets, and I was getting a lot of attention speaking at conferences and stuff, especially like in cybersecurity. Like you have cybersecurity, but then you actually have like a black tech Twitter, right? And you have black Twitter, and in cybersecurity as a whole, like I was pretty up there. But for like black tech, like I'm kind of like really, really up there. And I didn't want to accept that, being humble. And it was really, really getting to me. So I was overthinking every tweet, every Instagram post, you know what I mean? And it was to a point to where I couldn't be myself because I thought I was going to be judged by every little thing that I say, and I couldn't, nothing was going to come out natural. So I used to have these talks, and, one of my friends was basically told me, and this was before the show, he was like, your rocket ship to success has already taken off. You just have to accept it. And I really just couldn't accept it. And I felt like, I felt like one of those celebrities who don't need security, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You ever hear Kevin Hart tell that joke about ain't nobody trying to come at me? I ain't up there. So that's how I felt, for the longest time. And then, eventually you just have to accept that you have accomplished some things in your life.
Yeah.
And people want to see you. You know what I mean? And they want to see more. But over time, what I've learned is, if the people are going to support you, they're going to support you. I would much rather have, a little bit of people who want to see me do well than, millions of people who was just waiting to see me fail, and the approach that I'm doing now is just going to be at my own pace, and if information gets put out, you get to see the information. Do you know what I mean? And if it's decided that it ain't gonna come out, then it ain't gonna come out. But in the end, the people who support me will support me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I always tell people that, you got to do it for yourself. Like, make it for you, because even on social media, like, no matter who it is, you have to kind of do it for you, because if you're not, like, you're gonna keep trying like to feed into what everybody else wants, and you try to get more and more. Because even on the comedy side, you see people just throw out content, and they're trying to like create stuff and create just to fulfill other people. But then it's they get burned out or drained out. Because even on myself, when I was doing when I started out, I did like my sketch comedy show, and we actually had millions of followers. Like, I got deals with
This shit is funny as hell, man.
Oh, thank you.
No, he's really
this
good.
Is funny
He's really
as hell.
good.
Yeah, I got all kind of like deals with like major Verizon or on the mobile phones and a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, even with that, like, I really it was something I wanted to do, and then like I took a break because actually even doing that for me it got draining, right? And like then you're trying to deal with networks and different things, so I kind of took a pause from it. But it's it's definitely a big. And but I also think you do have to do it free, because whatever you want to do, your mental health challenges, your fitness challenges. I mean, that's something that you enjoy doing. You also have to do something you enjoy, because I know we've also seen people, and I know people who post so many things and like it look like they're doing so many great things, and I know it's not even real, because as in entertainment, a lot of times you do stuff like even stuff I do, which I make a lot of money for, nobody may see. Like, I'm in the Globe on the Toyota commercial. I get checks every time that comes on, but nobody knows it's me in there. And so, but there's stuff I've done like this very well known, or like people see it, and I may just made a little bit of money or a couple $100 off that or whatever the one time. So it's like, you kind of have to fit the part a lot of times, but so that's why I say do it for you and like make yourself happy in the things you do, because no matter what that is.
And you brothers both are on something that sort of led me to the Shawn Says that I said. For those who want to see it, I'm going to have it available again on IG later tonight. The full thing, including this overtime. The edited versions of all this will be available on YouTube tomorrow, and I'll just break out the Shawn Says itself if you just want to watch that on my YouTube channel. With that said, what I had going on was like, all right, I want to go to this cigar week down in Tampa. All right, cool. Did some stuff. Homeboys that I was hanging with, they were cool to hang with because they're great friends of mine. I learned a lot. But it's also like, I ain't been here in a while. I want to do some other things. So I'm going to extend my vacation. I'm going to spend a little bit of money, change the plane ticket, get me another hotel room and all that stuff, get me a car, and do something for me. But then I was still feeling the pressure, like, I usually do my show on Tuesday. And I wanted to do my show on Tuesday. I was thinking, well, I'll do the show from my vacation. No, I'm not doing my show from the damn hotel room on Tuesday night. And no, I'm not doing that. It's amazing. What my point is, it's amazing, like, when you get into a little bit of teaspoon of notoriety, how you become slave to the people who are genuinely, they may be genuinely just trying to support you and they're interested in what you're doing. But you don't make your life your own. And I think some people are starting to find with me and with you as well, Ty, we're finding our stride in this new level of being noticed a little bit more, which may fade or may grow depending on what we do in our future endeavors. But, and Tommy, you can certainly speak to this, you got to live your life for yourself in all aspects. And, share what you want to share and share what you're feeling good about sharing. But I was finding myself being a slave to this thing that I only had a rhythm of going for 2 months. We did this in February. I think we got on a live chat And Ty was like, shit, I'll get on with you. And that
Yeah.
wasn't even, it was basically what it
Yeah.
was, right, Ty?
No, yeah.
Like, hey, because Ty would do some shit. He was like, hey, I'll do something. I'm like, shit, well, I'll do something. And we're like, all right, I'll jump on with you. And then sooner or later, it was like, all right, episode 0.
Yeah. Yo, no lie. My sister was like, Ty, don't get on no lives. She was like, it's okay to get on the panel, to be a guest on the panel. But even she was like, I don't think, you should do one when you're the host. Because one, you're too nice. You don't know how to cut people off. You don't even know how to end the show. Do you know what I mean? If people gonna keep talking, you would just let them keep talking. And then I actually found something that interests me that I can speak to over and over and over again, which was the mental health thing. And then that started taking off. And then she was like, you should keep going with this mental health. As a matter of fact, she ended up being a guest on my show. So
Did you cut her off?
He
so
can't cut
it's
his fist
funny.
off. At least you're probably
funny how,
watching
like,
now.
it works. And once you find something that moves you, I think that's what you should go for. I actually wrote an article about that. Identifying your dream job. Find something you love, something you're really good at, and something that the world needs. So if you love it, your passion for it's going to shine through. If you're good at it, it's going to come easy to you. And if the world needs it, then there'll be demand for it. So whatever that is, whatever the combination of those 3 things is, that's what you should do.
Like, look at Kym, Ty. Kym was a cosmetologist in Tallahassee. And she started making body butter for her friends and family. People were like, girl, this is good. And she's like, okay. And before you knew it, in October, she's like, I'm not selling. I'm just going to keep doing this. And now she has a company. She has tens of thousands of followers on her thing. She's sponsoring a national IG show. And you do what you fall
national
into.
show.
That's national.
International.
International. That's right. International. You can watch me get slapped international too, like Chris Rock. Hey, Reese Buttercup. How you doing, baby? So, it's just like, I'm not bagging any of you all or any fandom or anybody who like follows us, me, Tommy, or Ty, or anybody else. What I'm saying is, if you do have a teaspoon, it's not anyone getting a big head, but if you have a teaspoon of notoriety, you do feel a fishbowl type of sensation. Like, when do I move? How do I move? How do I have my life as my own? And the only way to do that is to just make your life your own and think about y'all later. You can still have those things available. There's still things you need to do. I need to have some pictures here. I need to make a post here or there. But depending on where you're trying to take your life, anything you do in your life, this is your life. You don't owe it to anybody else. And so going back to what I said at the end of the show, I feel Will Smith is a man who's been trying to sort his life out for the 50 plus years he's been on this earth. But he has a partner who, for better or for worse, she says, hey, we could also help people or make hay out of divulging our business inside out the world to how we do things. So he never feels like he has a private moment because people know him for embarrassing moments that are domestic. Whereas she pushes those domestic moments in other things, rightfully, and highlights them to help other people. And so now you have loggerheads. That's what I feel. But that's my observation. Who knows? But they let us in on so much of their shit. We all are entitled to an opinion on Will and Jada because of that.
Well, I think they did. Actually, I think they did a pretty good job of keeping it discreet, or keeping it surface until like recently. Because I mean, they weren't the Kardashians. Were like every little bit about their lives are for public consumption. But
yeah, they didn't have a production crew every day, or like a whole production schedule.
At least early on, but like the last couple of years, it's gotten a little bit more extreme.
Feels like it's gotten away from them a little bit. A little bit. Ty, guys, make sure it's not pinned because I have to keep a sponsor up there, but at least for another hour. Ty has posted, go scroll up, the article that he wrote on LinkedIn. Identifying Your Dream Job by Ty Wilson. I didn't know Ty was a writer.
I'm more of a talker. I always make this joke. I said, but I spell it wrong. I say I could proofread better than I write, but I spell proofread Prufreed.
That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, I could proofread better than I write.
That's a T-shirt.
I would much rather talk than try to write.
You ever thought about doing T-shirt jokes?
I thought about it. I thought about writing. I thought about having my book being me just doing a voice to text and then edit it with Grammarly.
And
I think that's how I would do my book. I think I would just have some drinks. Chapter 1, Marathon, Florida, and then just do a voice to text.
Well, when I do write, I have to. I don't do anything audible. It has to be a muscular form. It has to be percussive. So I have to pound it out, read it, and hear it that way. I can't talk what I write, although what I write sounds like how I talk. So it's a very weird thing. But I need the muscularity of pounding things out on keys and writing them out for me to feel like I'm.
I don't like my writing. I feel like it's a lot of passive voice. I feel like it's a little bit ghetto. You know what I mean? I just don't like it at all.
But you're a proper ghetto man, though. You're a distinguished ghetto gent.
It's funny you say that. You should ask my cousins how they feel about that in Florida.
Are they from New Edition? Because you're from Massachusetts, right? Are your cousins?
No, they actually tell me, like, if we go out in public, let's just say like to the local corner store or whatever, they would tell me not to talk. They'd be like, they're gonna probably jump you because it's real out there in the streets. You know, them cats be hungry for.
They're gonna jump you because they
be hungry for a come up, man. For real.
Tommy, what time you had fear of being jumped, Tommy?
They told my cousin says, so I went to the store. I was going to go pay for a bag of chips. And my cousin said, don't pull your money out like that. Pull your money out like you got crumpled up ones and you're just kind of struggling to get those ones out. Because if your money looks too clean, if it looked like a stack, they're going to get you.
Somebody said you got proper money. People, $1, 101.
Hey, Tommy, there's a farthing and a shilling to use that. Now commence feeding me.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. So I'm from.
I have 10 pence and 4 quarters here.
90% of my family lives in Miami, not South Beach, Miami, but another 48 Miami, not Overtown, but another 48 Miami. Anywhere by the flea market, all that stuff. That's what I mean. The funerals, they wear T-shirts. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody wearing no suit to the funeral, right? Dickies, T-shirts, matching sneakers.
You know,
color of the weave match the hair,
I feel like
right?
they're gonna get jumped every 3 weeks.
So,
crew gonna get.
But we lived in Massachusetts, so in Massachusetts they'll make fun of us for having a Southern accent. So we got to learn to switch it up so we don't get beat up because we was like the only black kids in the neighborhood. And then when we go back, see, Mike knows, Homestead, Florida City. So when we go back every summer, we got to remember to turn it back on, or else, you know, the cousins get us for talking proper.
Y'all should have been smacking white people.
There's a lot of it. We was outnumbered, man. We was outnumbered.
The 305.
So, yeah.
Luther Campbell. Tommy, what are you in the script writing business? Are you trying to write a script or anything?
Yeah. I write a bunch of stuff. And I'm working on a sitcom now. I've been pieced together a lot of things. But yeah, and I have a short film that I recently wrote. But yeah, as a comedian, you're always writing something. So some ideas, just like, I think I'm actually better naturally, like showing a joke. I think so. That comes to me very naturally. So, and now it's funny that I do stand up because I really don't like talking. What? I'm not like a big talker, so I think my conception of like stand-up comedians like people just enjoy talking all the time. And actually, that's like most of the time I'm just pretty chill. But when I have something to say, I'll say it. But but I actually like short jokes. I think like writing script for TV, film, and all that kind of stuff comes a little easier for me than I guess stage.
Yo, let me ask you a question, Tommy, because I know you have some say on who the female leads is going to be. Are you a little bit biased? Like, she got to be fine in your opinion, or do she just got to be talented?
Hold on, for what? For my scripts?
I got an opinion on this, but I want to hear Tommy first.
Female lead. It depends on the part. Always talent first. For me, it's like talent is. I'm attracted to talent anyways. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Because I've seen the ladies in the. I've seen some of the ladies, man.
What ladies?
No, I've seen us. I'm talking about in the clips from back in the day.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Tommy girls. Oh yeah, but they were actually all of them very talented. Some actually are in Hollywood doing some big things now as well.
So they just happen to be attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we actually had an extensive auditioning process, and but no, they were actually all of them like super, like funny, super talented. And actually a lot of different like skills. Some like modeled. That was one of my thing. The reason why I created Tommy Girls was because I had I had a few friends who were like just super talented, like beautiful, other kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, I need like an outlet or whatever. And I was like, so my show, I was like, it was homage to the like Fly Girls, but they actually acted and did stuff in the show. So,
Tommy, I actually auditioned for one of your gigs back in the day, years ago, but I think I was actually too blue in my improv because you don't go blue, right? But I remember that. It's like a flood of memories. Like it's like years ago. That's why it was funny when we worked. When was that? When did we do that barber commercial for that health insurance company? Was that November?
Yeah, that's a couple of months ago. Yeah, something like that.
A couple of months ago. Yeah, it was like I finally get to work with this cat. It's like, all right, the world is intersecting.
Yeah.
We have someone named Vanessa Bryant who wants to join. Ty, do you want Vanessa Bryant to join?
That's on you, man. I have no issues.
But what if it's spam? Vanessa, are you spam? Can you show that? Because I'll tell you what happened a week ago. Really late. Someone said they wanted to join, and that joker was jacking off. It was the pinkest top of the pinkest, most narrowest top of a penis I've ever seen.
This was your blue.
Jab. I'm like, oh god. And the lady who I was on the air with, she's like an old Hollywood type of person from Louisiana. It's like, oh, you should be ashamed, sir. You can't do that, or you don't even have enough to show to jack it. And I'm like, this is really happening. So I had to erase the whole thing and like unplug and start.
Hey, that means you're really famous now. You got to.
Well, you have some Howard Stern in you like that with the lip.
That means you made it.
I'm white famous now. Got it.
There's all different types of slapping on this show.
That is it.
Let her up because I may have to go soon.
Okay.
I'm on this new. I have a new sleep app where everything shuts down at 10, wakes me up at 6.
So wait, why do you need to get up at 6?
Oh, bro, we never talked about that.
Because you're gonna get your steps in or some shit.
I was having a 4:30 in the morning challenge with Tasia.
Oh, you're still doing that? I thought you had dropped out.
But we were doing it. It was a mental challenge to get up. Was it 4:30 or it might have been 5:30 every morning for a week.
Either way, she kept posting, and I would see her.
And she was up.
And your ass would not post anything until like 11:30 the next day.
Yeah, I was listening to this Kobe interview, and he was talking about how much you can get done before everybody wakes up. So let's just say it's 3 hours. If you're getting up at 4 and they're getting up at 7, that's 3 hours a day that you're ahead of your competition. 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month, 600 hours a year. So imagine if you just continue to do that.
Yo, imagine.
So I tried it.
That's
For a
600
week.
hours of sleep you could have had too.
But if you go to bed early, you get your sleep back. Like now. You know?
No, I dig it. I've just been a creature of late night. Like I remember being up when David Letterman was on NBC. So that means as a little kid in single digits before I was even a teenager or even 10, I'm up watching David Letterman on NBC, 12:35, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. David Letterman was my dude till our show came around. It's still David Letterman was my dude.
Yeah, I was always a Jay Leno cat. I used to stay up and watch Jay Leno all the time.
Yeah, you get used to it. I was getting up at 5:30, and then out the door by 6. My 5 miles takes about an hour and a half. So by 7:15-ish, you know what I mean? I'm back in the house, 7:30, shower, 8 o'clock. I'm ready to start work. You get used to it though.
No, I dig that. I need that discipline because these bags are getting deep set now. I was looking at myself in that Florida sun. I'm like, and I'm turning into Methuselah in front of my eyes. Like, hey, it's salt and pepper. It's okay, baby. No, this shit ain't salt and pepper. This is fucking sugar on my damn chin. It's straight ash, homie. I thought I dropped cigar ash on my chin. I'm getting old, baby. So, and then you look at you gotta get that sleep. So, I commend you, and I'm gonna get that going. I gotta shut off my brain. I don't know how to shut off my brain yet. No one wants to see the Daily Show, Aaliyah. Trevor Noah's too cute, too cool for school. I'm gonna be cute and talk this way because I'm Trevor.
But I do gotta go, y'all.
All right, Ty.
How late y'all gonna be up?
I'm up for a little bit because it's a vacation day. I'm just running. I'll go to the Wawa later and get some food because Wawa is 24/7 because I'm in the city now. It's different than Florida, although Florida is But yeah.
All right, y'all. All right, Tommy.
I'm up, brother.
I was just chatting, bro.
For sure. See y'all, everybody in the crowd. Thanks for the support.
Check out Ty
Talk to y'all
Saturday on his show, on his YouTube channel at Ty Wilson 21.
100 miles.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it. I got the you said the white people money. It's it was the FX the Trek FX3 disc 2022. So,
I'll send you the picture of my bike. It's actually pretty tight. Pretty tight. Wait a minute, you got a disc 322. You got a bunch of comments behind the bike. That shit don't just say bike on it.
Yeah, I mean it's an investment on my health. That's how I look at it. You know, like getting a Nordic track.
How much do you spend on it?
A grand, a stack.
Motherfucker still got me beat. I spent $900 on mine.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent bike. You're gonna
a good bike. Yeah.
I went to I just got a bike.
But I gotta go.
So the pandemic.
All right, Ty.
No, Tommy, go ahead, Tommy.
Tell me.
No, I got dang, I can't think of the name right now. But there's a shop in DC, down northeast, where they have it's a black owned, and they get young black kids from the community to help they get parts they actually create fix up bikes or whatever. So I got it was one of the popular brands, but you get it for a couple hundred versus 1,000 or two, whatever. And you're supporting the young entrepreneurs. My friend told me about it.
True. All right, y'all. Good night for real this time. Good night.
All right, boy. Love you. Talk to you this weekend. See what's going on.
All right, for sure.
Leslie said you want to talk now. Leslie making fun. That's L.